Constitution's just a ghost in chains. Freedom slipping down the drains. Rise up, break the chains. No billionaire should run the game. Lying, scheming, stealing rights. If we don't fight, we lose tonight. End of democracy comes in waves. Justice buried in shallow graves. Stand up loud, don't be the slaves. Unmake the cage, unmake the cage. Tick-tock, time's running out. They're burning the laws, there ain't no doubt. Oh no, America, what you gonna do? Rights getting burned and they're coming for you.
Hey everybody, what is up? What's up? As you guys can see, I'm here on my couch. Yay. I hope you guys are having a fantastical Friday. Mine started off kind of, yeah. Let's just put it that way. Kind of, yeah. So I'm here on the couch taking care of myself. But anyway, guys, let's dive into it. Um, let's not beat around any bushes. Heyo. Um, we're gonna start off with Mr. Hegseth, okay? Because what's going on with him, it gets worse. What happened first? Okay, Signalgate. People were like, well, what does that really mean? He was using the app. What was he doing? Okay, so now we find out not only did he use an unsecure, unvetted, non policy app to communicate with his team of people about war plans, accidentally looping in the senior editor for The Atlantic and his wife and brother on those definitely war plans. It gets worse. Okay, to understand what the Secretary of Defense has access to, it is everything operational to do with our full military, our nuclear arsenal, any battles that are going on, any special ops that we have going on, right? So his office, their office, okay, the Secretary of Defense, their office inside of the Pentagon, okay, is a skiff, right? It is already sealed up. You can't bring anything Bluetooth in there. You can't bring any smartphones, nothing, nothing. So that everything is air gapped. It is completely confidential. Okay. So what did this man do? What did that guy over there do? He had an outside contractor come in, make holes in his walls. Number one, that already fucking the security is gone. Put in an unsecured internet line, totally fucking not allowed. Okay. And then put Signal on his computer, his personal computer, not probably also on his government computer. And then so he could use the Signal app from his computer that is now hooked up to an unsecure internet inside the Pentagon that is now not secure. Guys, this is absolutely the worst case scenario. If anyone out there is looking to buy or sell secrets or, like usurp our military, it's for sure going to come via Hegseth. Okay. As if this weren't bad enough, let's just scroll through what's going on today. Uh-oh, they flip-flopped, flippity-floppity, flip-flop, right? Trump administration, U.S. restores legal status for many international students, but warns of more removals, okay? Friday, today, they abruptly moved to restore thousands of international students' ability to study in the United States. Oh no. Did colleges say, WTF, bro? Right? But immigration officials insisted they would still try to terminate that legal status despite a wave of legal challenges. Let's get to the big Hazagaza here. FBI arrests judge. We're going to skip down to that. Okay. This lady right here. She's 67, y'all. 6'7", 67. This is the second judge to be arrested. Okay. The first judge that got arrested was this guy. He was actually a former judge. Okay. and he was arrested in New Mexico. All right. And his wife was arrested. You know why? He resigned last month, days after a raid on his home ended in the arrest of three Venezuelan men who'd been living in a studio on the property. Hmm. So a judge has three Venezuelans living on his property. How did they describe it? He and Nancy, 68, so another woman in her 60s, were booked, and they're being held without bond, so they can't even get bail and get out. All three of the arrested men on the Canos property reportedly have immigration cases pending. Okay, so that means they've been following the steps and have been accused, of course, in involvement in the Venezuelan Tren de Agua, an allegation the judge, Cano, called highly sensationalized and without merit. He also wrote that his wife had facilitated their appearances. Okay, so his wife is helping them go before the correct immigration judges and with their legal counsel, and said the trio become a meaningful part of their extended family. Involved in community events and working on obtaining work authorization while their cases were pending. They're doing all the steps. One of the three guys has been charged with being an alien in possession of a firearm based on social media posts that showed him holding guns at a shooting range. Y'all, if you go to a shooting range, you can use the guns that are there. It doesn't mean you own them. It doesn't mean you're in possession of them. You touch them at the shooting range. That doesn't. A federal search warrant suggested that the firearms may have belonged to the judge's daughter. This is so wild to me. Okay. So he was the first judge arrested. And then we have her. This Wisconsin judge, okay, was arrested today um, on charges of obstructing immigration agents, saying she steered an undocumented immigrant through a side door in her courtroom while the agents waited to arrest him in a public hallway. Now, that's what they're accusing her of. Okay? So there was a confrontation last Friday, a week ago, in which federal agents said she was visibly upset and had a confrontational, angry demeanor. When a group of immigration, DEA, and FBI agents came to apprehend Eduardo Flores Ruiz, a citizen of Mexico, who was in her courtroom to face domestic violence charges. According to the criminal complaint, the judge confronted the agents and told them to talk to the chief judge of the courthouse. She then returned to her courtroom. Okay. Despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan, okay, Dugan or Duggan, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that wrong, then escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel out of the courtroom through the jury door, which leads to a non public area of the courthouse. DEA administration agent spotted Mr. Flores Ruiz leaving the building and notified his colleagues, according to the complaint. Agents approached him on the street outside the courthouse. A foot chase ensued, and the agents pursued him for the entire length of the courthouse before catching and arresting him. Okay. She was released on her own recognizance. The judge's defense team said she would fight the charges. Judge Dugan will defend herself vigorously and looks forward to being exonerated. Uh, this is insane. This is okay. So, a Milwaukee County executive had this to say: "It's clear that the FBI is politicizing this situation to make an example of her and others across the country who oppose their attack on the judicial system and our nation's immigration laws." The Wisconsin governor, okay, is raising concerns about how the Trump administration was treating judges. Unfortunately, we have seen in recent months the president and the Trump administration repeatedly use dangerous rhetoric to attack and attempt to undermine our judiciary at every level, including flat out disobeying the highest court in the land and threatening to impeach and remove judges who do not rule in their favor. And of course, our favorite, Pam Bondi, The attorney general defended the arrest, telling Fox News that when someone obstructs justice by escorting a criminal defendant out a back door, it will not be tolerated. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be prosecuted. She also talked about the judge in New Mexico. Some of these judges think they're above the law. They are not. We will come after you and prosecute you. We will find you. Guys, why is this so terrifying? Why is this a problem? Okay. The problem is this: these are the initial steps of fascism. Okay. We already have a flat out attack on our free and fair and public media. Okay. Examples of this. Now, I told you guys that I have a Truth Social profile that's, oh no, America. It's not a personal profile, it's just for this channel. What did I receive in my email and a text message today on my business phone? An invitation from Truth Social to join Truth Plus. What is Truth Plus, you may ask? What is Truth Plus? Well, I can tell you guys what Truth Plus is, okay? Let me just do something here real quick. Mhm. Here we go. So Truth Plus it's like Apple TV Plus, but for right-wing uber evangelical Christians, okay? So here's the text message that I got. Where did it go? Here we go. So this is the text message, okay? Did you know your Truth Social login gives you free access 24/7 live TV? Okay? And so if you go here to truthplus.tv, make TV great again, okay? And then you can go to the App Store to download this app. This is Truth Plus, okay? I want you guys to see what are the things that are first here? Charlie Kirk, okay? You've got what is the other one here? Just the News, No Noise, Dennis Prager, American Voice Live, One America News, okay? If you go over here, oh, of course they want to show you the debate constantly because we're still in the past. We're not in the now. So here's some of the channels, One America News, right? And then this is the section that got me. Okay. There are movies in this Truth Plus app. This is totally free. Okay. The movies Finding Faith, Hunter. And then look at these animation things, guys. This is the stuff of nightmares that they want your children to watch. Okay. And then there's some comedy stuff. They don't show me who the comedy people are, but these are uber right wing Christians, right? Free speech lives on Truth Plus, where you can watch the news you trust and shows and movies that big media has tried to blacklist. Whether you watch on your phone, computer, or TV, Truth Plus comes with a top class feature set, including an interactive 14-day electronic guide, instant catch up TV on any show broadcast in the previous 7 days. Okay. Network DVR, video on demand, and more. Best of all, Truth Plus is powered through specially designed infrastructure with its own servers, routers, and proprietary software stack, rendering the platform uncancelable by big tech. Enjoy ultra fast streaming while watching an expanding array of channels and content you love on an app built to protect your voice and defend your freedom. Okay. Now, then I was like, I wonder what things, like, because in the Apple App Store, you can go to the privacy section, okay? And it's going to show you data that's linked to you on the app that you use. So the data linked to you on this app, okay, that they are grabbing from you and selling broadly. This is how they make money. It's a free app. They're giving you all this content for free, right? Just kidding. You're paying with your data. So they're collecting your purchases, your search history, your browsing history, your identifiers like your login name, all that stuff, right? And your usage data. Okay? That's all right there. Then I was like, that's crazy. And my wife is like, Hulu does the same thing. And I was like, but we pay for Hulu. So then this has led me down a total ADHD rabbit hole today because I went to the Hulu app because I was like, that can't be right. I can't be being tracked by a service that's charging me $95 a month for Hulu with live TV and the no ads and Disney Plus. I'm paying $95 a month for that shit. Okay. So let's go to the Hulu app. Here's the Hulu app. I'm going to scroll down. Okay. So the data used to track you is just the identifiers, but the data linked to you, hot dog. This following data may be collected and linked to your identity. Purchases, location, contact info, user content, search history, identifiers, diagnostics, and usage data. It's more shit than the Truth fucking Plus app. How in the F is that possible? Now, I understand about the location because this is how Hulu decides if you can go on your television or not. Because when you sign up, you have to like tell them where you are. So if I try to watch my Hulu app while I'm, driving on the road or something, they can cut me off and they can say you violated the terms of service. So now I'm like, well, fuck. How am I going to watch TV? How am I going to watch the TV I want to watch, which is just a few news channels to keep up on stuff? Without all that stuff. So I've been looking and looking and looking. I can't get rid of Disney Plus, guys, because my kids fucking love it and they watch so much of that. So then I was thinking, what streaming service could I possibly get? Okay. The only one that is using the least amount of data is Sling TV, guys. Look at what they're using. Location, of course, my login, and then my usage data. Okay. Um, and it's cheaper than Hulu. And I'm pissed now because if I get just the thing that I need for the news channels I want, which is their blue package, it's like 40 bucks a month. Now I'm trying to figure out how much I can get just Disney Plus with. I think it's an additional 15 bucks, 16 bucks. It's like 15.99, right? Even those two things together is still less than it's like $30 less that I'm paying right now. Okay? This is how the fascism starts though, guys. We think this is like it's a bullshit thing. Oh, Truth Plus, who cares? You should care, okay? Because if not only has he started his own social media company, Truth, now he's offering Truth Plus. And all of the stations that are on there, guess what they all have in common? Anyone? Oh, right. They're the ones that took the place of the mainstream media at the Pentagon, getting the firsthand briefings in the Pentagon briefing room over all the other networks, right? Where you can only find their content either online or on Truth Plus. Do you see how this works, guys? How they're going to put out one truth that you could only access if you're part of it. Okay? It got me thinking about this other situation. I'm going to play this um, snippet for you guys, okay? And I told y'all that I had watched the movie The Grab and Bad Faith. The Grab is an amazing documentary. It is on Hulu. This is why I'm reluctant to give up Hulu, guys, because I watch a lot of documentaries. And they're like exclusively there, or I would have to like buy them or rent them, I think, on Apple, but I don't even know if that's possible. Anyway, The Grab is an investigative journey into what is happening to US agriculture. Okay. The reporter that started it started with a story of a pork manufacturer, which by the way, China is not going to be importing our pork, but it was the sale of one of America's largest pork manufacturers to a firm in China, okay, for billions of dollars. Now, the guy who sold it, kind of not the smartest bulb in the bunch, um, didn't know that the company that bought him was directly run by the CCP. Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea. It just made sense to me that this company overnight got a loan for $5 billion. I mean, that just makes sense. What that sale did was put 1 in 4 pigs grown in America into the hands of China. 1 in 4 pigs, 20% of pigs that we raise here go to China. And now they're like, I don't think we're going to keep doing that. They don't give a fuck. They'll just buy another company in another fucking country that isn't going to charge them 156% tariff or whatever the fuck it is today. Okay. But this led to like a deep dive onto all of the access points of the United States. In a teeny tiny county in Arizona, Saudi Arabia, via a third party here in America, had bought hundreds of acres of desert to turn it into farmland to grow alfalfa to ship overseas to Saudi Arabia for their horses and shit. This is a true story. Why Arizona? Well, the land was super cheap and they have no limit on the amount of water that you can pump out of the ground per day. So, this company, by building this farm in a desert land, has been drying up the locals' aquifers, pumping thousands of gallons per minute out of the aquifers to water the alfalfa in a desert to ship it overseas. Totally legal. It's not an illegal practice. The farmers that live there, their wells have gone dry. Their well pumps have blown up and melted because there's no more water and they can't go deep. A whole thing. That's just TFB for them. Tough tits, right? Okay? And this is happening all throughout America. There are foreign companies buying up farmland all across America to grow crops that are shipped overseas. They are not for any company here in America. Okay. Then along comes Trump, and he is now selling access to our country in the form of a golden visa for $5 million because he wants the companies to be American, right? So if that foreign business owner gets a visa for $5 million, which frankly is a tax write off for them if they're doing it for business purposes, and they come and they have their company here in America and they buy up these farmlands for thousands of acres because farmers are being told to produce more with less while we're wasting food every single day in this country, guys. Okay. The grocery stores have mandates to lock their trash bins or fully destroy, like incinerate the food that they are throwing away on a daily basis, which, by the way, most of the time is perfectly fine. But if the bananas get bruised, they're out. If the apples are bruised, they're out. If, you put an expiration date on it, a day before all that stuff expires, they throw it away. They don't send it to a homeless shelter. They don't send it to a food bank. They don't send it to, any type of thing that would use it immediately and use it as a resource, right? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. They throw it away. And these chains, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Safeway, Kroger, all of these things, they lock their dumpster bins so that even if people were, dumpster diving and living off the waste of America, they can't. Because you can't have, like organic lettuce that's perfectly fine getting into the hands of homeless people. We wouldn't want them to have lettuce. So we have judges being arrested. We have all of our laws being usurped. Meanwhile, everyone is focused on the Cheeto in chief, right? We're all laser focused on Trump. And what's he going to say? And what's he's going to do? Guys, they are instilling the fascism everywhere. Students, foreigners, people here on visas are being snatched off of the street. Okay? They're literally being snatched off the street. That is the America that we live in. And people, all they want to talk about is what Trump said or what Trump did or what, we have to focus on what's really going on. Do not get distracted by Trump nonsense right now because he's the perfect distraction while all of these other people, the uber far right, evangelical, Christian, maniacs, okay, are slowly but surely every single day rolling back the Constitution until it will be a blank page. Please pay attention, okay? Pay attention to what the left hand is doing while the right hand, Trump, is dancing and being a moron. Yes, he's a problem. I'm not saying he's not a problem. But the rest of the administration, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, right? Even Pete Drunky Drunk Hegseth, who still has Trump's full backing. Okay. I'm begging Congress to do something, anything, anything. Oh, right. Yeah, don't forget about Christy Gnome. This doesn't sound like a weird drop for anything, right? So I'm a grandma. I'm going to take my whole family out. I'm also going to walk around with all my credentials for some reason, even though I'm not going to the White House today. I'm going to walk around with all my passcodes, everything, all my identification, and $3,000 cash, which she hadn't spent yet, but she still had it, even though she claims that the cash was to pay for the entertainment and presents for her grandkids. Now, ma'am, you've been out all day. Did you not buy your grandkids anything, or did you put that on your credit cards? You still had the cash. Did you forget about the cash until it was stolen? And who? How do we not have a tracking on this? But it's not suspicious at all. Just totally normal. When I'm out at a restaurant with my kids, I always put my purse under my chair, right? And then she claims that when the purse was being stolen, she felt it like, someone under her chair taking something, but she just thought it was her grandkids. So let me get this also double straight here, Christina. You go to a restaurant with your grandchildren who are under the table at a restaurant and just running amok. You're that person at a restaurant? This, I'm sorry, what? None of that makes any sense. I carry cash very rare occasions, guys. This is like an old habit from the 90s. I always try to have like 20 bucks on me just in case. You don't know. What do you got to pay for parking somewhere in cash? You know, what if got valet parking? You got to, what if I need to have that cash to give a tip or something? You know what I mean? It's just a habit, right? My dogs are going crazy because my wife just came home. So, yeah, yeah. It doesn't make any, but carrying 20 bucks just in case and carrying 3 grand. First of all, The smallest way you can carry $3,000, okay, if you go to the bank is $100 bills, right? Okay? Yeah. That's $3,100 bills. That's a stack. She had a stack of cash. Have they discovered who got the purse? That we have no, it's just a mystery. Yeah, and they got past 2 Secret Service guys. Are these Secret Service guys, or did she just hire her cousins? I mean, Hegseth's talking to his brother and his wife on Signal, so who knows? You know, none of this makes sense. Not a scintilla of it, guys. But here's the deal: who's going to gain access to what with those credentials? Does she use the password? Password 123 exclamation point. Please pay attention, guys. May Day is coming up. There's going to be an enormous protest. Again, now this is the first protest that 5051 is putting on that is not on a weekend. It is on a Thursday. I encourage everybody, okay, on Thursday, on May Day, to go out and protest. Okay, show the Trump administration that the protests aren't just a day off. Take a day off work, guys. Get out there and protest. The next thing we need to do is we need to step it up, guys. There needs to be a national strike. There needs to be some really big shit that's going to get the attention of them, because so far they've successfully ignored the protests. Everyone else is very much paying attention. Okay, Congress is having an Easter break right now, because all of us get an Easter break for multiple weeks, right? With the jobs we have. Sure thing. We're paying for that, guys. They are still getting paid. Okay, our tax dollars to celebrate Easter. Okay, we got to pay attention. Shit is getting farther and farther out of our control, and there are some things that will never be fixed after this man is done in office. And don't forget, he's already put Trump 2028 merch on his website. I say, I go along with the people who have made this merch. I say, if Trump's going to run in 2028, we run Obama again. Fuck it. I would love to see those debates. If you're watching on the replay, put an amen in the chat if you want Barack to run against Trump for the alleged third term of the presidency that doesn't exist in the Constitution, but fuck it. Let's do it. I think he should pick AOC as his Veep. That's what I think should happen. And then just retire on day one and let her run the country. Anyway, that's my evil genius plan. Obama 2028, y'all. Let's make it trend. Hashtag. If you're watching on the replay, thank you. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, as always, to my mods. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We got to stand up. We got to make our voices heard here in America. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, subscribe, become a member, hit up my link tree, and I'll see you guys next time.
Lights getting burned and they're coming for you.